After turning 50, something shifts. You become more careful, more intentional. Each new morning feels like a blessing, and every choice you make starts to matter more than ever before. Maybe you're managing blood pressure or keeping cholesterol in check. Maybe your doctor has prescribed a few pills over the years for sleep, for pain, or for something else. It feels routine, harmless, just part of getting older. But here's something most people never get told. Some of the most common medications prescribed after age 50 can quietly impact your heart health. Even medications that aren't meant for the heart can affect how it works. And the effects can be subtle at first. A little fatigue, some irregular heartbeat, or a strange feeling in your chest you can't quite explain. So in today's video, we're diving into the hidden connection between everyday medications and your heart. You'll learn which ones to watch closely, what side effects are worth asking about, and how to talk to your doctor without fear or confusion. Because your heart deserves your full attention, not just when something goes wrong, but every single day. Let's take a closer look together. Why medication matters more after 50. Once we cross into our 50s, our bodies begin to change in ways we can't always see or feel right away. Our metabolism slows down, kidney and liver function become less efficient, and our heart, the engine behind it all, becomes more sensitive to certain substances, including medications we've used for years. For many of us, this decade marks the beginning of multiple prescriptions. It's common. Blood pressure meds, cholesterol statins, antidepressants, over-the-counter pain relievers, sleep aids, even cold and allergy medications. Individually, each one may seem safe, but together, they can create complex interactions that your heart must work harder to handle. Some medications can increase heart rate. Others may raise blood pressure, and a few may even disturb your heart's natural rhythm, something called arrhythmia. If you've ever felt your heart flutter for no reason, or noticed you're short of breath after starting a new pill, it might not just be age. It could be the medicine itself. And here's the real challenge. Most people don't connect the dots. They blame stress. They think it's just part of aging, or they assume it's something minor. But when you understand how medication can influence your heart, you gain power. The power to ask better questions, to monitor your body more closely, and to work with your doctor, not just follow instructions blindly. Remember, the goal isn't to stop taking necessary medications. It's to stay informed, stay aware, and stay in tune with your heart. Because after 50, your health depends not just on what you take, but how you respond to it. And sometimes, small adjustments make a world of difference. Now that we understand why medications matter more after 50, let's take a closer look at the ones hiding in plain sight. The everyday pills many people take without question, and how they could be quietly affecting your heart, one dose at a time. The hidden heart risks in everyday medications. So what are the medications we should actually be paying attention to? Let's talk specifics, because chances are you or someone you love is taking at least one of these. And knowing how they can impact your heart may be the most important health decision you make this year. Let's begin with something very common: NSAIDs, or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. You'll find them in ibuprofen, naproxen, and other over-the-counter pain relievers. They're used for arthritis, muscle aches, even minor injuries. But here's the truth: long-term use can raise your blood pressure. And for people already at risk for heart disease, that added pressure can quietly strain the heart over time. NSAIDs can also increase fluid retention. And when your body holds on to fluid, your heart has to pump harder to circulate it. This is especially risky if you've ever had heart failure, even mild or early stage. Next, let's talk about certain antidepressants, especially a class known as SSRIs and SNRIs. These medications help balance brain chemicals like serotonin, but some of them, like citalopram or venlafaxine, can affect your heart's electrical rhythm. For most people, it's not a problem. But for those with existing heart issues, it can trigger irregular beats or a condition known as QT prolongation. It sounds complicated, but the bottom line is simple. Always tell your doctor if you've noticed skipped beats, dizziness, or fainting episodes while on antidepressants. Now, you might be thinking, but I'm not on anything strong like that. I just take allergy pills. Well, let's talk about those too. Many over-the-counter decongestants, especially ones with pseudoephedrine, can raise your heart rate and blood pressure. They're sold for colds and seasonal allergies. But in someone over 50, even a temporary spike in pressure can push the heart too hard, especially when combined with stress, caffeine, or other medications. Then there's sleep medications, both prescription and over-the-counter. Drugs like zolpidem or diphenhydramine are commonly used when sleep gets elusive, but many of them can slow down your heart rate too much during sleep, especially if taken in high doses or with alcohol. They may also mask symptoms of more serious heart conditions like sleep apnea. What about medications for heartburn? Proton pump inhibitors, PPIs, like omeprazole or esomeprazole, are widely used to treat acid reflux. But long-term use may reduce magnesium levels in the body, and low magnesium can lead to abnormal heart rhythms. It's subtle, and it builds up over time. Most people never think twice about it. Even medications meant to protect your heart, like beta blockers or diuretics, can cause side effects you should watch for. Beta blockers slow the heart, but too much can cause fatigue, cold hands, or dizziness. Diuretics help control fluid, but they may throw off your potassium levels, and the heart depends on potassium to beat properly. It might sound overwhelming. All these pills, all these possibilities. But take a breath, because here's the good news. You don't have to stop your medications. You just need to understand them. And most importantly, know how to listen to your body. If you ever feel like your heart is racing out of nowhere, if you suddenly tire faster than usual, if you get lightheaded when you stand up or notice swelling in your legs, don't ignore it. Don't wait. It could be a sign that something you're taking is affecting your heart more than you realize. It's easy to blame aging, but aging doesn't explain everything. And often, the answers are right in our medicine cabinet. Still with me? Great, because in the next part, we'll talk about the danger of mixing medications. Because sometimes, it's not one pill that causes problems. It's the way they work together. And that's where many people unknowingly put their heart at serious risk. Let's keep going. You'll want to hear this. When medications collide, the danger of drug interactions on your heart. You'd think taking medications exactly as prescribed would protect you. But here's a truth very few people over 50 ever get told. Even if each medication is safe on its own, they don't always play well together, and your heart is often the one caught in the middle. This is called a drug interaction, and it can happen silently without warning. No alarms. No obvious signs. Just a slow change in how your body and your heart responds. Let's look at a common example. You might be on a blood pressure medication, like an ACE inhibitor, and then you start taking an NSAID for joint pain. Nothing unusual. Lots of older adults take both. But here's the problem. That combination can reduce kidney function and raise potassium levels. And when potassium levels climb too high, your heart rhythm can change. It may beat too slowly, or irregularly, and sometimes dangerously. And what if you're taking a diuretic at the same time to reduce fluid retention? Now you have a perfect storm. Dehydration, electrolyte imbalance, and heart strain, all from 3 common meds taken for 3 different reasons. Let's take another case. Imagine someone is taking a statin for high cholesterol. It's very common, especially for men and women in their 60s. But then they're prescribed an antibiotic, maybe for a respiratory infection. Some antibiotics, like clarithromycin, can increase statin levels in the blood. This can cause muscle breakdown, which can lead to a condition called rhabdomyolysis, and that in turn puts pressure on the kidneys and the heart. Now you may think, my doctor would warn me about that. And sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't know everything you're taking. Maybe you forgot to mention a supplement. Maybe you added a cold remedy from the drugstore without realizing it contains pseudoephedrine, which increases blood pressure. Or maybe you're seeing more than one specialist, and they don't always communicate. These gaps matter. Because it's not just about prescription drugs. Supplements, too, can interfere with heart medications. For example, Saint John's wort, often used for mood support, can reduce the effectiveness of certain blood thinners or blood pressure medications. Grapefruit juice, believe it or not, can increase the levels of some heart drugs in your bloodstream, sometimes to dangerous levels. And many people don't realize this until their heart starts reacting. Sometimes it's subtle, a little more fatigue than usual, a bit more swelling in the ankles, or a strange pounding in your chest when you lie down. Other times it's more serious, chest pain, fainting, or a sudden trip to the ER. But here's the good news. These interactions are preventable. The key is communication. That means telling your doctor every single medication, vitamin, and supplement you're taking, even the ones that feel minor. It means bringing in a list or keeping a written record. It means asking, will this interact with anything I'm already taking? And don't forget your pharmacist. They're trained to spot potential conflicts, and they often catch things doctors may overlook. It also helps to stick to one pharmacy if possible. That way, the full picture of your medications is in one place and easier to track. Another smart step is scheduling an annual medication review, especially after age 60. Many clinics and pharmacies offer this service. They'll go through your list, check for risks, and even suggest ways to simplify your regimen. Because sometimes, less is more. Fewer medications may mean fewer interactions, and a lighter burden on your heart. We take medications to help us feel better, but when they start working against each other, they can do the opposite, especially for the heart, a muscle that depends on balance. So don't leave it to chance. Be proactive, ask questions. And most importantly, listen to your body. If something feels off, it probably is. In the next section, we'll explore what you can do to stay safe, stay heart smart, and still get the benefits of the medications you need. Because knowing the risks is just the beginning. Knowing how to manage them, that's where your real strength lies. How to take medications wisely, protecting your heart with every dose. Now that you know which medications matter and how interactions can quietly impact your heart, you might be wondering, what can I actually do about it? Here's the truth. Most people over 50 don't hear often enough. You have more control than you think, and it starts with becoming an active partner in your care, not just a patient. First, let's talk about the timing of your medications. The time of day you take a drug can affect how it's absorbed, how it works, and how your heart reacts. For example, blood pressure medications may be more effective and gentler on the heart when taken at night. This can also reduce the risk of early morning heart strain, a time when blood pressure naturally spikes. Diuretics, which help the body shed excess fluid, are best taken in the morning. Why? Because taking them late in the day can cause nighttime trips to the bathroom, disrupting sleep, which itself can strain the heart over time. Another powerful strategy? Monitoring your symptoms consistently. Keep a small notebook or use a simple app to track things like heart rate, blood pressure, energy levels, swelling, sleep quality. You don't need to be a doctor to notice a pattern. And often, your own observations will uncover changes your medical team might miss. If you've just started a new medication, pay attention for the first few weeks. Do you feel more tired than usual? Is your heart racing or skipping beats? Are you suddenly short of breath after light activity? Write it down. And speak up, even if it feels small. Because when it comes to heart health, the small things matter most. Also, Be mindful of over-the-counter products. It's easy to think it's just a cold medicine or just a sleep aid. But many of these contain ingredients that affect the heart, especially when combined with prescriptions. So before adding anything new, even something natural or herbal, ask, is this safe with what I'm already taking? Your pharmacist can help answer this too. They're often your best line of defense when it comes to heart-safe combinations. Now let's talk about doctor visits. Many older adults feel rushed in appointments. They don't want to bother the doctor. They assume everything's fine unless someone says otherwise. But you deserve more than silence. Bring a written list of all your medications, including vitamins and supplements. Ask these questions. Are any of these affecting my heart? Do I still need all of them? Could we simplify or adjust the doses? You may be surprised how often medications get continued just because no one ever questioned them. And if you're seeing multiple doctors, make sure each one knows what the others are prescribing. Miscommunication is one of the biggest causes of heart-related medication problems in people over 60. And finally, never stop or adjust a heart medication without guidance, even if it seems like the cause of your discomfort. Sudden changes can shock your system and make things worse. Instead, stay curious, stay aware. And remember, every dose is a choice. Every pill should serve your well-being. And if it doesn't, you have the right to explore other options. Because this stage of life is about more than managing health. It's about thriving with clarity, and your heart deserves nothing less. Conclusion: gentle wisdom for a stronger heart. After 50. So here we are. We've walked through the quiet risks, the pills that seem harmless, but aren't. The combinations that can clash without warning, the signals your heart sends, and how easy it is to overlook them. But more importantly, you now know what to watch for. You know how to ask better questions. And you know your voice matters in every doctor's visit. That's the kind of wisdom that grows with time. And with age. And yes, with experience. Because life after 50 isn't about slowing down. It's about living more intentionally, with a little more care, a little more patience, and a whole lot more self-respect. Your heart has carried you through decades. It's weathered stress, joy, loss, love. It has kept its rhythm, quietly, faithfully, through it all. Now is the time to protect it in return. Not with fear, but with awareness, with kindness, with steady, informed choices. So the next time you refill a prescription, pause. Take a look. Ask if it still fits your body, your life, your stage of health. You deserve that much. And if this video helped you see something differently, even just one thing, I hope you'll share it with someone else in your life, because we all know someone over 50 who takes a few medications. And who might not know their heart is quietly paying the price. Leave a like if you found this helpful, and subscribe to our channel for more gentle, wise advice on health after 50. We're here for your journey, one beat at a time.